Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Writing Cabin with Tarah Benner. I'm fantasy author Tarah Benner, and this is my cabin. We all need to escape into story from time to time, so come on in, sit down by the fire, pour yourself a nice hot cup of coffee, and let's talk books. Now, before we get started today, I want to take a quick moment to thank my wonderful patrons. Patrons, your support not only funds the creation of new short stories, but it tells me that you enjoy my books so much that you want to support them and me directly. If you, dear listener, would like to join our Patreon family, you can do so over at patreon.com/Tarah Benner Labs. I create a brand new piece of writing every single month for my patrons, as well as a bonus video diary. And this coming month, I'm going to be publishing part 3 of The Silverflame Dragon, which is a brand new prequel novella. You can also gain access to my entire library of Patreon exclusive stories for just $2. In that library, you will find a spicy alternate epilogue to Warrior Witch, plus about 17 unpublished Witches of Mountain Shadow short stories, an unpublished novel, all kinds of things. So again, that's patreon.com/Tarah Benner Labs. This week's featured book is Blood Ties, the standalone prequel to Ether Witch from Gabriel and Wesley's perspectives. Wesley Pierce just made detective, but he's at a serious disadvantage. He's been drawn into a string of unusual murders committed by a creature that doesn't exist. His brother Gabriel knows something he doesn't, that Wesley's killer is a vampire. Gabriel Pierce is a hunter, a supernatural predator who slays witches and werewolves. Wesley has no idea what his brother does after dark, but Gabriel is determined to stake the killer before Wesley gets too close. If you're a fan of the Witches of Mountain Shadow series, Blood Ties will give you brand new insight into Gabriel and Wesley's characters before they came to Mountain Shadow. If you are new to the series, Blood Ties is a great place to start. It takes place before the events of the main series, but it's also a complete standalone. Blood Ties is not available in stores, but you can get your copy for free at tarahbenner.com. I will put a link to that down in the show notes. All right, it's time for my little life update that I do each and every week. And this week, my son turned 1. I cannot believe it. I have a 1-year-old. Really, for the first year of a baby's life, you just refer to them by how many months old they are. And now I can say I have a 1-year-old. He's 1 whole year old. And if you have kids, you probably understand what a huge deal the big 0-1 is, especially if it's your first kid. Actually, I think the first birthday is a bigger deal for the parents than it is for the child, because obviously a 12-month-old has no idea what's going on except that everything's about them and everyone's real excited. And this year, my son's birthday theme was dragons, so I made a dragon cake. We had dragon decorations. I had balloons and streamers everywhere. He got some new toys. He got to eat his favorite food, which is watermelon. Overall, I think he had a really good day. And the best part was that his grandma, my mother-in-law, came in from Missouri, so she was here for his special day. And that was a lot of fun for him. He loves her. He loves having company in general. And we love it because then we get kind of a break from chasing him around all the time. And just spend time with family is always really, really nice. And so that is what has been occupying my free time this past week. This is after we took like a pre-birthday trip back to Illinois to see some of my family. And kind of getting back in the swing of thing. And then we had birthday and we had my mother-in-law here, but I'm actually getting a lot of work done because she's been watching him while I work. And so that has been fantastic, especially as I explain what I've been working on in our writing update. That's kind of just natural transition for me there into what is new with the books. So after weeks and weeks, I am so happy to say that I have finally finished the first round of revisions on Dragon Kingdom Book 1. No, I still do not have the official title of Book 1 yet. I have some ideas and I just need to make it official. And I need to get a cover made and all that fun stuff. That part is a little bit intimidating to me, especially on a first book in a brand new series, in a brand new genre, because the title is really important so that people can find your book when they're searching Amazon, and you want to have dragon kind of in the title so that when people are looking for books about dragons, it hopefully comes up. It's kind of a keyword there. So I have a lot of kind of market research type stuff to do while my book is gone. And I say gone because I sent it off to my beta readers, which is really exciting and also nerve-wracking, because with a new book in a new series, I'm always like nervous how, actual readers are going to respond to it, if they're going to like it, if they're going to, think that there are certain parts that need changed or parts that drag or that don't make sense. And so I really need to fortify myself over the next week or so and kind of prepare for that feedback. I actually added 4 new readers to my really tight-knit beta reader team. And that's a big deal because the existing betas that I had, they have been with me for years. They have read so many of my books. They have given me so much valuable feedback. But people get busy and people have things going on with their lives. And so I lost a few over the last couple books, and I really wanted to get lots of good feedback on this one. And so I brought some new people onto the dream team. And a few of these individuals are people who I know. One of them did a really extensive dialect read for me on The Witch's Fortune. Another one is like a super fan that I know of. And so I'm really excited to see what they think, especially because they're new blood. Anytime you get new blood into kind of a feedback process, you get things that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise. And so that's really valuable to me as an author and a writer. I'm always trying to get better. And this is really one of the few ways that I get better. I read a lot, and so that kind of helps me with my craft, and I, of course, do things educationally to get better with my craft, but really the actual writing and the feedback from readers is where the rubber meets the road. It's kind of like the test, in school after learning your lessons, to make sure you actually learn them and to see how you're applying those lessons. And so, this is a really important part of my process, especially because I try not to read my reviews anymore. I will, when a book is new, go in and read, some of the ones as they come in. But once a book gets to a certain point and I'm comfortable with kind of the feedback I'm getting and the ratio of reviews and everything, as far as, good reviews way outbalancing any negative or mixed reviews, I stop reading them because it's very disruptive to my day-to-day process to get a constant influx of feedback from people. And so this is kind of where I do that. I bring in people who I trust, who are voracious readers, who like my writing already, who like the genre already. And I find that their feedback is just really valuable. And so I'm excited to hear what they say. I'm kind of trying not to go crazy while I wait. And kind of in this little time gap that I have, I am revising the last 3 chapters of the Silverflame Dragon, which, as I mentioned, is going out to patrons on September the 1st. This will be part 3 of 3, and so the complete novella will be available to patrons. I'm really excited about that because it follows Larkin, who's one of the main characters in the new series, and his little band of people and one of the main antagonists for the series is in there. And so that was really fun. I enjoy writing villains. I'm not sure what that says about me, but the process of doing the character work for a villain and writing the scenes with the villain it's always a lot of fun for me. And so the villain kind of gets more of a spotlight in the novella than he does in book one. We don't actually meet face to face the villain until the very end of book one in the series. And so to get him in this prequel novella is really interesting and fun. Let's see, a little housekeeping note. If you watch the show every week on YouTube, you may have noticed that the videos on my YouTube channel are always like a week or two behind. And the reason for that is I don't upload the video version of this podcast right away because where I live in the mountains, we are very limited on our internet options. And as of right now, the only provider that can get us internet is AT&T. And it has to come through the cell towers. And so we have this little box that works off the towers, but we are limited on our data. And so, which is kind of ridiculous, trying to run two businesses out of a single house and you're limited on data, but whatever, it's okay. So we're limited on our data. And so really data heavy things like uploading YouTube videos, I will wait to do that until I go elsewhere, like to a coffee shop. And so whenever I go, usually on a Sunday, not every Sunday, but most Sundays I'm able to go, for a couple hours, and I will upload the previous week's YouTube videos. And so if you are really excited about upcoming projects and you want to make sure that you're getting all the news in real time, do subscribe to the podcast, and so that you can get those right when they come out. We post every Friday morning, and if you subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, you will get those automatically in your feed. So please do that so you're not waiting and wondering when I'm going to upload the next YouTube video. But that is it for my writing update. Now it's time for what am I reading this week? And this week I am still reading From Blood and Ash by Jennifer Armentrout. And you guys, this book is so much fun. I can't remember the last time I stayed up too late reading something, because as a new parent, my sleep is very important, but I am losing sleep reading this book. It's just, the main character is awesome. She's very believable, lovable, and she's also a super strong heroine. I love the slow burn, steamy romance. There's a lot of mystery and intrigue with the world, and the villain is he's one of those villains that you love to hate. And so, it's really great. I highly recommend it. I'm only like halfway through, and already I think it's going to be one of my favorite books of 2022. And so if you have not picked up From Blood and Ash by Jennifer Armentrout and you like fantasy or paranormal stuff, I definitely recommend it. That's about all I have for you this week. But before we go, let's check the mailbox. And this week we have a YouTube comment from Joe M. And Joe writes, this is on the Ether Witch audiobook. Joe writes, I enjoyed this book and especially liked the real history at the end. I adore when fiction and reality combine. It fascinates me. Thank you so much for leaving that nice comment. If you, dear listener, have any comments or questions you'd like for me to read on the show, you can comment on the video or send them to tarahbenner@gmail.com. You can also post them on any of my social media channels. I am at author Tarah Benner on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. That's all I have for you this week, but feel free to stay in my cabin for as long as you like. We can drink all the coffee, you can crack open a good book, hopefully one of mine, and have a wonderful weekend.